Hello and welcome to When Will It End? It's a podcast. Two friends, we watch the movies. We start with the first movie, we go to the second movie. After that, Charles?
I'm guessing the third movie.
You don't have to guess. We've been doing this for some time now. Do you really have to guess? Do you think it's a guessing situation?
Yeah.
You think it's a guessing situation?
Yeah.
Okay, what happened after we saw Pirates of the Caribbean 2?
Oh, God. I have a bad memory, too.
Okay, what happened after we saw Terminator 2?
Terminator 3.
What happened after Shrek the second?
The third. You're right, 3.
Yeah.
We went to number 3. Every time we keep going to number 3.
That's a classic. In a way, all roads lead us to 3, but we can't get to 3 without 2, and that takes us to today's movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. And here's a spoiler. We learn the secret of the ooze.
That's true.
Yeah.
Where to start?
Where to start? So first off, this movie is set in New York City. How do we know? Simple. Everyone eats pizza in New York City, and this movie opens with a montage of people fucking eating the biggest, fattest, shittiest looking slices of awful looking pizza. It's nuts. And literally everyone's eating pizza.
Yeah.
It's kind of fucking amazing.
Which was your favorite?
Well, my favorite. I like that at one point they just cut like a guy on the sidewalk who's just like eating this massive hunk of like thick looking awful pizza and just excruciatingly biting it, like over exaggeratedly biting it to make sure that we understand he's eating pizza.
Yeah, that was the guy in the suit, right?
It was the guy in the suit in the street corner.
That was the guy that everyone crossed the street, but he was too busy trying to eat his pizza.
That big old stinking piece of pizza.
He missed it. That was one thing I didn't buy. I feel like I've been in New York a few times.
I mean, you
fucking lived there.
Yeah, I did kind of. The thing is, I always say New York City, 10 million people, 10 million stories. Here's mine. And I worked there out of college in jazz radio, and I moved there, and I worked out of Newark.
I don't give a shit. This was not. This was about.
Sorry. Okay.
I was just going to ask you, in your life of living in New York City.
Yes.
Had you ever seen someone not cross the street when they finally got the little man?
Well, okay. Let me tell you something about New York City. Okay. In New York City,
are you going to answer my question?
Anything can happen.
Oh, that's true.
Watching this movie, I mentioned to you, and this is so good. There's a scene where a massive mutated wolf and snapping turtle are put on a totally abandoned street somewhere, where inexplicably there's an older couple getting into a cab.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "Oh, Marie, look, there's a freaking they're tearing down the city," and she's like, "They can get their own cab."
Yeah.
And it's like that is honestly the spirit of old New York, the Big Apple, where anything can happen, and only in New York. So you asking me, have I seen someone not cross the street because they're eating pizza? Mm-hmm. I've seen it all, baby. I saw a man with a fucking face wound take a shit between train cars and then go back to sleep on a bench.
Wow.
Yeah, it was tight. I've seen people get savagely beaten in the street outside of fucking rallies.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's a tough city.
But you haven't really answered my question. Have you seen someone not choose to cross the street when they get the little man?
Who's to say what motivates us to do the things we do? I think
you really hate this question.
The thing about this movie that I like so much is that it forces us to think about our own conception of self, Charles.
Sure,
and,
I agree
and the
with
movie, obviously, as we all remember from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the hit 1990 film that launched these lovable lads, not from Liverpool.
Bro, can you imagine?
Oi, Coroi, Gov, let's have a go with a bird. I'm a bloody ninja, he is.
Can you imagine?
Oh, bloody hell.
Can you imagine?
Oh, bloody hell. Having a go with a waiter in a pub.
Can you imagine?
I'm a bloody turtle, oh, he is. I bloody love being a bloody turtle.
Yeah. Some good imaginings.
I have a head cold, and I feel like I'm tripping.
I'm getting off of a head cold.
Yeah, how's that going for you?
It's much better than it's going for you.
Yeah.
You're still on the head cold.
You'd rather
part.
have a bottle in front of you than a frontal lobotomy.
Can you say that again?
You'd rather have a bottle in front of you than a frontal lobotomy.
I don't know. Sometimes I really think that might be the best way forward.
A lobotomy?
Yeah.
I do often think about what it would be like to host this show with you just sort of drooling in a corner.
I mean, isn't it supposed to just like
it feels
calm
like that
you
sometimes.
down?
It feels like that sometimes.
I mean, you always put me in the corner.
No one puts Charles in the corner. I mean,
right.
You do.
What was that?
I was coughing. Did you do like a bark there? Like a Swayze then bark?
Yeah. That's me not getting put in the corner.
Werewolf Swayze. I would watch the shit out of that.
Werewolf Swayze?
He could have done it. He had that like lithe frame. I could imagine him covered in hair. Because having seen Roadhouse, he's pretty hairless.
Yeah.
He's not a hairy. Oh, here's something for the podcast. You'll love this. I was talking with Allison about camp, like masculine camp. And I was talking about maybe something like Roadhouse or this kind of like fascination with the ultimate man where like in that movie, he's a vegetarian Buddhist poet warrior. And then she was like, that's not camp at all. You know what you're talking about. It's someone else's culture. Stop appropriating that. And I was like, you know what? You're actually dead right. It's a whole culture unto itself. But she was like, maybe you could invent your own term for what you're talking about. This like, because Swayze in a lot of ways, like the mystical poet, warrior, vegetarian, roadhouse bouncer, like it is like the kind of like homoerotic pornography where it's like there is this ultimate man who's both sensitive and violent.
Yeah. What'd
like,
you come up with? Did you find him?
No, I just want to dangle it out there.
Okay. So if anyone else has ideas,
yeah,
can they give us their ideas?
wwiepodcast@gmail.com. Did I get it right?
wwiepodcast@gmail.com. You got it right.
Yes.
But you could also
know the show.
You could also
I know the show.
tell us what. They are trying to come up with a word that defines.
Yeah, I'm looking for like. I mean, like a similar thing would be Swayze in Point Break. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He's a modern savage. He's a searcher.
Yeah.
He has a code, but he's also a surfer. He's also a hunk.
Maybe John Wayne from The Searchers.
Not hunky enough.
Nah, he wasn't hunky.
He wasn't hunky at all.
He was like maybe hunky for the 50s.
I think in the 50s they wanted like a literal like father figure.
A literal
like
hunk.
Everyone's like dad. And then over time that was like, no, what if he was incredibly well sculpted and had long hair?
My dad was sculpted.
Smelled like leather.
Your dad wasn't sculpted?
Love my father as I do, I would be hard pressed to describe him as sculpted.
Fred.
You know who is sculpted? The goddamn Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Fuck. And here's something else I was thinking about. What if you think about it, Leonardo, what does he represent? Bravery.
Pizza.
Pizza. Bravery, truth, honesty. And Michelangelo, what does he represent?
Childishness.
Pizza. I was going to say pizza.
He also
a sense of
fucking,
fun.
sex. Yeah, he's the hedonist.
He's the horny one.
He's the hedonist of the group.
Right. He just like wants pleasure at all times. Then you have Donatello. What does he represent?
That's me. He represents me.
I was going to say pizza, but he's the smart guy. He's the thinker. He loves science and scientists.
He loves science.
Okay. And who do you have like Raphael?
That's you.
That's me, the brooding one who captures the combination of passion but also, misery, The beautiful line we walk between ecstasy and agony.
Do you think this is where that Pixar movie got its idea?
Up?
Inside Out?
Oh.
Where like you have 4 encapsulations of what it's like to be a human turtle.
Yeah, that's actually really beautiful, when I think about it.
So like when you look at one human turtle, you're like, wow, it looks like just one human turtle. But down deep, there's really 4 versions of that human turtle. They're all scattering around his brain.
Well, was it Freud, Hegel, or Jung who said that inside all of us are 4 turtles?
I think
it's
all
the conflict between those turtles that generate our identity.
It's the Freud, Hegel, Jung.
Freud, Hegel, Jung said it, and it is true now, as true then as it is now, really, as now true as it is then. So the thing in this movie that I thought was great is that this movie is like, okay, so we have these turtles. They're clearly special turtles. But, we've seen in a effortlessly rendered flashback in the first movie a lot of stop motion
those
animation.
Flashbacks were really great.
They're very
just remember
charming,
those.
yeah.
They look like an old home movie.
Right. It reminded me of Gumby, honestly.
Yeah, one of the best. That was one of the best flashbacks in movies. I think they're like really. I don't know. It's rare when like movies have different cinematic techniques to show you that they're changing. There are some.
Well, like in
like
Man of
this one.
Steel, Zack Snyder's flashback at the end of that movie is the only good part of that movie.
Yeah, well, that's true.
It's
not
a
what
great flashback.
That wasn't exactly my point, but I like your point.
I will remember you. Will you remember me? I just rewatched some.
Was that playing?
I think all flashbacks should have that playing. Community does that, but also in 30 Rock, Jonathan sings that to Jack Donaghy when they change floors.
Oh, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good stuff. But yes, no. So we saw like, okay, some ooze hit them, but what ooze? Why? Why did it do this?
So what do we need? A whole movie dedicated to
the secret
of the ooze,
baby cowabunga.
Yeah.
And that's what we get. And what's cool about this movie that I like, and it is a weird, strange. I made the argument that I think I convinced you this is a trashterpiece.
Yeah.
And that it is objectively a bad movie, but it is so delightfully bizarre that it is, I think it carries its weight despite being in every way inferior to the first film and basically just somewhat of an aimless stroll down nothing lane at the end of the day.
Yeah, it says inferior to most films, but
yeah.
I used Trashterpiece in my Letterboxd review.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I'd like because I agree with you. It is a Trashterpiece. It like leans so hard into being terrible.
Right.
It only could have been done on purpose.
Yeah. I mean, again, we can't stress enough. The first movie came out in 1990. This was clearly rushed into production so quickly, people's heads spun. And if it was directed by Michael Pressman, there was probably a sound effect like.
It was.
Wow,
you're saying if
if that moment when they rushed into production happened in his movie, there would be an accompanying like rushing sound effect and like a bell or something.
Has anyone directed a movie about themselves making a movie?
Yes,
I feel
absolutely.
like Werner Herzog's done that.
Schenectady.
Oh, I mean, but like
Schenectady.
making a
New
biopic
York.
about himself.
I mean, didn't Herzog do that with Fitzcarraldo?
That's what I'm thinking. Well,
Sort of? Kind of? Not
I'm
really?
just like, I really like this premise.
Like they really pushed the boat up the thing.
Of Michael Pressman. Yeah, I mean, that's basically a movie that shows what happened. Like, he basically documentized his
Hearts
own
of Darkness.
movie. I want to see the Pressman making of the Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah, okay. So basically, what I like with this movie is that amidst lots of really bad bits. Oh, let's talk about this. This movie is like, you like the Turtles, right? You like their bits? Guess what? Guess what, fucker? All bits.
Remember in the first one there was like almost no bits?
Right. It's actually pretty moody, like textural. We loved the first movie.
We loved the first one.
And this one is like, they're like, you love the Turtles, right? So we're going to face fuck you with turtle action where they're going to be constantly talking and doing bits. I think
would rather
Raphael
have been-
doing the monologue from the end of Casablanca is the worst thing in the movie.
I hate that shit so much.
It's like Looney Tunes, but not cute.
Yeah.
Like, it's so obnoxious.
Or not even, it's not as violent as Looney Tunes. We should just watch Looney Tunes.
We should watch Looney Tunes, honestly.
Meh.
Hey, you know what? When I watch Looney Tunes, you know what I watch? I turn on the news. Because it's like, what are they doing? What are they doing down there? It's like a cartoon show.
Who's that, Bugs Bunny or... I don't know any news.
Yeah, I've heard of an orange carrot that Bugs Bunny ate, but an orange president? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're a journalist.
I'm a journalist. And there's great journalism in this movie.
Yeah, so I want to talk about that later.
We'll put a pin
I
in
do
that.
want to talk about it.
So what I want to get back to from earlier is that the movie is an understandable emotional and psychosexual experience.
Talking about this one or the first one?
This film.
Okay.
Secret of the Ooze, of course. What else could I be talking about when I talk about psychosexual search for meaning? The Turtles want to find out what their origins are, and they realize through reporting done by April O'Neil, who is played by a second April O'Neil, who is lesser in every way.
Every way.
She's just a very boring April.
She
I
sucked.
miss original April. She was
So
scrappier.
much.
Judith, whatever. She was great. Anyways, so they're like, we can finally find out, because Splinter's like, hey, TRGIRDA or whatever, the company that made the ooze, check out, this is the vial we came from. It says it on there. We're going to find out the truth. And then they find out the truth about themselves, that it's boring.
Yeah.
And they're faced with a moment that I think is actually shockingly incredible for a children's movie that has lots of jokes like, oh, jeepers, my nunchucks are stuck on your pizza or whatever.
Yeah. Next time I'm going to give you some mustard.
Yeah, you
It's
love
not a
that.
joke.
Yeah.
That wasn't a joke.
You felt pretty taken aback by that.
Well, I mean...
Explain the context. It is pretty funny.
Okay.
They're in a classic...
Wait, you told me to explain it.
I'm saying the scene, then you explain it. You're bad at saying the scene, remember?
I'm trying to get better. How am I going to get better without trying?
I don't know. We're not going to find out now. They go to a basement mall with the worst robbery in the world.
Yeah.
Okay, and what's down there?
Oh, it's my turn now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, that was really quick. I'm sorry. I should have just let you do it.
Yeah, well, you know what? We got there together, and here we are.
Okay, so there's men wearing mama's panties. Not mama's panties. Why did I say that?
Jeez, I don't know, man. I really don't know.
Wow.
You really surprised me that time.
Nylons.
Right.
Mama's nylons.
Wow.
You know. They're all wearing mama's nylons.
The fact that we're not making people pay for this is...
We will, though. Be careful. We'll come for your money soon.
Sure. Do you want to take a minute? Do you want to unpack that? Mommy's nylons or panties or whatever?
I mean, the scene where the two creatures, and they all come forward to Shredder, or the Shredder.
This is what I'm talking about. That scene setting was abysmal. What
I'm
you just
trying.
said.
Okay, let me
Get back to the fucking thing. Okay,
No,
I'll do it for you.
No. I'm just saying, like, I was really affected by how they both wanted him to be their mama.
Just talk about it later. We're talking about your goddamn mustard joke that you hated.
No, you told me let's take a break. Let's unpack it. Mama's nylons.
Mama's nylons. Oh, Jesus Christ. I regret opening this door.
Anyway, so the turtles. No, sorry. The boy, Kino, he shows up.
Right. So
He's
Kino,
delivering
there's
pizzas.
actually an Asian protagonist in these movies who's not an old man or a rat, which I think is a step in the right direction. Even
It
though
is.
He fat shames someone almost instantly in the movie, which
It's
is
pretty cool.
not great.
Oh,
This girl's
sorry.
like, I don't
Oh.
want to go on your motorcycle. He's like, fuck you, you fat piece of shit.
Yeah, it's
And then-
really
It's like,
cool.
what the fuck?
That was our intro.
But like, I like in the 90s, that was like a nice familiar, oh, this guy's cool.
Yeah.
He told that woman she was fat. What a,
Man, I miss Andy.
yeah, God, yeah.
Andy has like a similar vibe, but at least his was like just, wow, it was just like so much less focused.
We speak, of course, of Jaws 2's secret hero, Andy.
Andy.
I miss him every day.
Yeah.
He tries the punch, hates the punch, pours the punch back in the punch bowl. What a fucking bummer.
Fuck. That's a.
Okay, so Mike
stickler.
Ledger's fighting a fucking foot soldier or a nylon guy.
Yeah. So he kicks some ass, and then let's take a break from this.
Just explain the fucking thing.
I just want to say, God damn it. Okay. Kino gets into a fight with some guys. He easily handles them because he's the best fighter in the movie.
He is. He's incredible.
He rules. He's great.
The fighting with the turtles blows in this movie. They're clearly so encumbered by the costumes. Fucking go for it then.
The turtles show up. Okay, the turtles show up. And they get into the fucking most...
List the names.
I got it.
Okay.
Got Mikey.
Gotta say the full name.
All right. The full names are easy. Those are
well, then do them if they're easy.
Michelangelo, Donatello, Leonardo, Raphael.
Okay, great. They're all there. The gang's all there.
You're Raphael. I'm Donatello.
Sure.
That was actually, I think, the reason why this was so successful as a cartoon, comic book, movies. Everyone likes like Power Rangers, all those things with those multiple things, each with like, as we were talking about, the 4 versions of the human turtle.
Of course, yes.
You can go to your friends and be like, I'm Don. And you're like, yeah, I'm Raphael. Like, you can choose the one of the group, still feel part of the group, but like really focus in on the one that you like the best.
Yeah, it's also part of this touchy-feely 90s liberal culture that, Democrats used to weaken our country. Because in the past, there's one strong dad man, and it's John Wayne, and he just shot the bad guys, be they Native Americans or just generally not white people, or even worse, Europeans. He would just gun them down.
Yeah.
And that was just, and the game he played was either you were Captain Daddy or you got shot. And that was in America that won us how many world wars?
1.
At least 2.
Which?
We helped out in 1, and I think we get the big dub for that.
We helped? What did we do in 1?
I think we sent the Doughboys over to Europe land to fight off the Kaiser's cronies. And I think like in baseball, you get the save, right? I mean, that's a win.
True.
I think if World War I was a baseball game, okay?
So what do you get when you...
France started against the Axis because they were right there. I guess Belgium started. Okay, well, look, I don't want to get into the politics. Who said what when?
I hate it when you get into politics.
I know. Well, I hate it when I turn on the news and it's friggin' a cartoon show.
Give me one.
Okay.
I can't wait.
Okay. Yeah, Mike Pence want to have dinner with the lady? Unless he calls his wife mom?
This is bad.
What?
I don't get that one.
Just please.
I don't get it.
Rugged individualism won us world wars. We won in Korea. We won in Vietnam.
Can I ask you a serious question?
Yeah.
In baseball,
sure.
Not in wars, the starting pitcher, do they get the win?
If you pitch for, I believe, a certain number of innings, then the win is your win.
And if you pitch at the end, you get a save.
There's a complex
or
series
you
of
also get a
rules.
win.
If you preserve the save, yes.
So a save's the same as a win?
No, it's a save. It's a different stat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have wins, losses, and saves?
Correct.
Okay.
But never a tie.
So what happens?
You can't tie in baseball.
What happens if you start pitching?
Okay.
You pitch the requisite number of innings to get your win.
Sure.
But then you lose.
The game.
Yes. Do you, as the starting pitcher...
You get the loss.
You get the loss. And what does the finishing pitcher get? Do you also get a loss, or is there a fourth term?
I think they're blown saves have become a stat over time. I don't really want to talk about this
Is there wins,
right now.
losses, saves, and...
Rugged individualism won us the wars in Germany.
We've never lost
Germany
a war.
Again, never lost a war.
We've
Korea,
never lost
Vietnam,
a war.
Laos, Cambodia. We helped out in other places. Rwanda, I think Somalia. We did other stuff.
Yeah.
We won all of them. Then in the 90s come, and all of a sudden everyone's like, I'm part of a team. I've got friends. Fuck that.
You're saying fuck that?
I'm saying friendship is horrible.
What?
Did Terminator need friends in the first movie? No, and he did pretty good.
I mean, he had millions other like himself.
Well, but
he had a truck driver friend.
He did, well, we later learned about the truck driver friend. By the way, big scoop.
Everyone would be so
huge scoop.
Oh my god, what's this?
This is coming out after. Never mind, forget it. Fuck me. We're recording this before recording our Dark Fate episode, but we did learn from the trailer of Dark Fate, which, by the way, the trailer I would give 0 bags of popcorn. There is indeed a Terminator truck driver in the 6th movie, because they're like, what does this movie need? A truck driver.
Yeah.
Who makes these movies?
James Cameron. Next question.
Okay. Yeah, so you're saying earlier, so I was trying to get to this point about half an hour ago. Tell your horrible meat story. He uses the fucking meat as nunchucks. He says, I'll use the mustard next time. You're an idiot.
Wait, I said that the first time. You said that was bad.
You didn't do even close to that the first time.
Yeah, I did. He said he threw meat at him, and he said, I'll give you the mustard. No, he said, next time I don't remember. Anyway, the point was this joke.
Yeah.
My real point, we're talking seriously now.
Okay,
Shut the fuck up.
Sorry.
This movie decided...
Serious talking now. Talking serious.
This movie decided to, rather than actually write a real joke, which you could have done, I could have done it, because there's a phrase, "I'll give you the mustard."
I've never heard of this phrase.
You've never heard this
I've never
phrase?
heard "I'll give you the mustard."
Hey, Siri.
Google it, you fucking freak.
What does the phrase "I'll give you the mustard" mean?
Okay, I found this on the web for Hey Siri, what does the phrase "I'll give you the mustard" mean? Check it out.
Thanks, I will. Just cut the mustard.
Yeah, it doesn't exist, you fucking liar. Jesus
Siri,
Christ.
you've abandoned me. My time
Siri,
of need.
who did 9/11? Siri. Yeah, that's
It
what
only
I thought.
responds to
That's
me.
what I thought.
I spent an hour setting up so it only responds to me.
Wow, you have
Say
a
it.
little robot friend.
Say it.
Hi, you fucking freak.
Hello.
This is just like Blade Runner 2049, basically.
I'm just saying.
The
you
phone
can-
is your
you know
fake
what?
dead wife.
You can keep your fucking daddy, I'm daddy, I'll kill you all. I got my little robot friend right here in my pocket all
Do you know
the
what
time.
John Wayne would have done with that phone?
Who?
Shot it.
John Wayne, yeah.
He would have killed it. Okay, so the movie is basically the
Well,
turtles realize they're not special.
My serious point was that
That's my serious point.
we were just talking about jokes. This movie, over and over again for an hour and a half, chooses to not write jokes.
Not quite an hour and a half.
And yeah,
This movie does not get to 90
Good.
minutes, and it is
Thank God.
kind of crazy they got as long as
there's
they did.
one funny joke in the entire movie.
There's two funny jokes. There was your
Okay,
favorite and
my favorite was the guy with the ponytail. Classic character from the 90s.
Okay, so basically the climax of the film, which we've alluded to in past episodes, features Vanilla Ice rapping the legendary
Whoa.
Go Ninja Go part. It's
You were
extraordinarily
dancing
strange.
real
I was
nice to
dancing
it.
during the credits.
I almost
like,
took a
I'm all
video,
dancing.
but then I knew like a cat, you'd get scared and walk away.
Much like a cat, yes. They're in the club, and there's two like ultimate 90s, 80s club guys. They've
Good.
both got pierced ears and ponytails, like little ponytails.
One of them's the thin, tall guy with the greasy ponytail. The other guy's like the gruff, like back of house guy.
And they're both Don Johnsoning it with t-shirts and suit
Yeah.
jackets over.
Yeah,
And he's like,
classic.
What's this business? Where these guys come from? The extras? We hired extras? Gotta call the cops. Call the cops.
Classic. When you have extras show up that you didn't hire,
You
call the
cops.
police.
But then, as the fight continues, the crowd is delighted by the antics of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
So you know what I thought?
What's that?
I thought when he said call the police, we're going to have a massive battle between turtles, big weird things, the foot, and the police. I was like, oh,
That would have been cool.
this is a weird way to get the police involved, but I'll buy it because that sounds cool. And then minutes go by after they're enjoying it, and he says, they're liking it.
No.
Cancel
you
it.
fucked this up, dude. The guy comes back. The little
Fuck
guy
you.
comes back over with the phone. He goes, "It's the police." He goes, "Like, what the fuck are you doing? They love this shit."
Yeah.
And then this is amazing. And the guy goes to the cops. They like it, and then hangs up.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's a good joke.
That's a
that
good
was
joke.
like the only good joke in the movie. You like the other one. Which
My
was,
favorite joke was so shitty second April O'Neil as a shitty second boss, replacing Dennis or whatever, Carl, the guy from the first Charles. It was Charles.
Yeah.
You're right.
He kept showing up at her house.
The bald is like Stephen Tobolowsky, but not as charismatic and interesting. Her boss, and they replace all of April in this movie, and she's a new shitty boss. And she's like, I want to keep doing the report on the science man. And he's like, no, you got to do something else. Never really explained why. She's like, what else is there to do? And he goes, swim since the 90s. I look ahead. She goes, I'm not doing that. He goes, my interest picked.
That was good.
It's funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty funny.
It's funny. It's funny. It's clearly not as important a story. It's about swimsuits. It's funny.
Yeah, and it was good. Yeah,
I think he wanted to see April in a skimpy little bikini.
Oh, you think that would have been how they did it?
Yeah, I think so.
You would have had the news reporter dress up in a bikini?
I think in the coercive, toxic male environment of the 90s office, that's very likely.
Yeah, actually probably is.
It's amazing, like, April is not more harassed by her coworkers.
Yeah.
Like, I think a grittier, a Todd Phillips, if you will. Man, hey, talk about reboots. Imagine if our guy Todd got his hands on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, pretty good, right?
That was great.
Yeah, it's good
wow,
stuff.
I just watched the whole movie in my head.
Honestly, I would watch. I know SNL did the Grouch parody already, which was very funny.
Yeah.
But they did Casey Jones, the like Todd Phillips origin story. It's called Casey.
Who's Casey Jones?
From the first movie.
Wait, what?
Elias Koteas from the first movie. Are you
From first which movie?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? What
Who's Casey Jones?
is this a bit?
I don't know.
It's definitely not a bit.
Casey
You just
Jones
forgot.
is the guy that
He's the man with the hockey mask who fights
Yeah.
crime with them.
I know.
You just said you didn't know.
I know. I like making you weird. I like making you
You
frustrated.
like making me weird.
Yeah. Like,
By pretending to have forgotten a central character from the first film.
at first I forgot because I thought you were talking
Oh,
about.
what? Oh, did you?
I
Oh, you
thought
covered
were-
it so well.
I thought you were talking about Joker, because you're not being clear today.
I'm making a connection between gritty origin stories
Right.
and the work of Mr. Todd Phillips of the Hangover 3
Now
fame.
I get it.
Yeah, well, fucking welcome to the party. Go Ninja,
Go Ninja, go. Go
Did you,
Ninja, go Ninja,
So did
go.
you catch my point earlier, which I think is an interesting point and a smart point brought up by a smart man? The Turtles think that they're special, but feel
Yeah,
like
let's
the
talk
very
about that.
rote explanation. Because they get essentially in science talk from the British science guy who's trying to either clean up or hide the transgressions of
very
the science
unclear.
company. It's very
At first, I thought he was going to be the bad guy, but then he's very quickly kidnapped by the Shredder.
right.
And he becomes the
makes-
good guy.
He makes the baby monsters, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
Also, like, there's also Baxter or whatever, the Fly character from the Ninja Turtles world, who is a scientist with a bow tie. So I was like, why are you setting the table for this?
Yeah.
And not giving us this fucking Fly adjacent thing? Maybe it was too close to Cronenberg's Fly.
Maybe.
Maybe it's before. This 91. When was Fly?
Don't know.
Okay.
Hey, Siri.
Oh,
When did The
Jesus
Fly
Christ.
come out?
The Flyers play the Stars tomorrow. at
Wow,
7
nice
p.m.
fucking phone, you dipshit. Awful.
Hey, Siri. When did Cronenberg's The Fly come out?
1986. There, I Googled it, you fucking idiot. You're useless,
Here's what I
Siri.
found.
No one cares.
Can you just talk to me, please?
I already found it.
Please.
Your phone's humiliating you.
I'm asking you questions, just
1986.
showing me stuff
So
on
maybe,
a screen.
Maybe years in advance they were like,
When I'm asleep in bed, like nodding off, and I ask you these questions, Siri, I don't want to look at the screen. I want you to say, 1986, Charles, the year after you were born. Good night.
I love you, Charles.
I love you too, sweet lady.
Bring up pornography. I'm sorry, Charles. I can't do that.
Hey, Siri, bring up pornography. You don't even... Wow.
This is humiliating for you and the Apple Corporation.
I'm with you. I like the daddy now.
Thank you. Yes, you shoot it. He'd shoot it so good. I wish they'd make a movie where John Wayne comes back, maybe in 3D, and he's like these kids on their damn devices, and the Jewish media telling lies about Trump,
There we go.
and he just shoots everybody. And then
Oh, not their
cheers.
phones. I thought he was just going to shoot their phones.
Oh, there's a scene at the beginning. Like he goes into a bar, like an old Western movie.
Yeah.
But instead of everyone turning to face him, they're all on their damn
Oh,
devices.
no.
They're all on their damn devices. No.
And he shoots all their phones.
He shoots all their phones out of their hands, and it's a commentary if you think about it.
We could get Clint to direct it.
Everyone's on their damn devices.
We could get Clint to direct.
Yeah, and I think in the interviews he'd be like, "Well, honestly, the movie's about how if you look at the world today, everyone's on the damn devices."
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been looking at the world, he'd say.
and what I'm seeing is screens, faces
seeing-
lit with blue screens.
Sometimes people wearing glasses, I can see their screens reflected
Remember
in their
Google
glasses.
Glass?
Yeah.
Is that just we all agreed that was like the douchiest thing a person could do?
Yeah, I think that's why they didn't take off, because it actually seems sort of useful in a
It
way.
sounds useful if you're like a doctor or a
Right.
soldier,
So that you could look
or
up
like,
Wikipedia and how to cure someone rather than memorize shit.
Exactly.
Hold on. Hey,
But
Siri,
in real life,
this
people
guy's
just, like-
skin looks like shit.
They're like, I'm walking to a bar, or and like live streamed that, and people were like, "No, this sucks. Get
Yeah.
that shit out of here." Remember that someone was like, "So I was discriminated against from a Google Glass." Remember that?
Yeah, I got another example.
Please.
The Segway. Just made fun of because it is goofy looking. And now 10 years later, the e-scooter is huge.
Well, and famously, the
Because
guy
they
who
don't
made the
look
Segway
silly.
was killed by a Segway,
Yeah,
which is
that
one
was-
of the best
that's-
stories ever.
that's really great.
It's like how
Oh.
Mr. Guillotine was killed by a guillotine.
Was he?
Yeah, famously.
Did he by accident?
No,
was
they were
this-
like, we got to kill the smart people because we're socialists.
Okay, so slightly different story because Mr. Segway
He just died off a cliff
plummeted
or
off a
something.
cliff.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. That shit's funny. They should make a.
Hey, you know what? They can't write this stuff. They can't write this stuff.
They should make like same way they made a Jobs biopic twice. They should make two.
Segway.
Yeah, Segway.
And then Mr. Segway. Jeff Segway.
Jeff Segway. What was his name? Segway?
I sincerely doubt that.
I hope so. God, I hope so.
We can only dream.
God, I hope so. Hey Siri, who invented the Segway? Hey Siri, listen to me.
This is genuinely bad podcasting and pathetic.
Who invented the subway?
Jared Fogle.
Subway has two founders, Peter Buck and Fred DeLuca.
Famously, Peter Buck from
This
REM.
phone is my worst friend.
Peter
This
Buck
phone
from
sucks.
REM, in addition to playing that legendary electric guitar, also founded Subway. Okay, so in the movie, they want to be special, but when they're told by
Right.
the British science guy that there's actually a very boring explanation for why they are the way they are.
How many times have we tried to get to this point?
They're faced with a conundrum, an existential conundrum, where Donatello, I think, is hit
Donatello.
most of all.
Yeah.
Right, because he's the
That's
thinking
me.
one. Right, because Leonardo is motivated by duty. Michelangelo is motivated by wanting to come all the time.
Yeah.
Raphael is motivated by a deep self-loathing, which I identify with. And then you have Donatello, who's like, what? Why? What is the reason why?
Love science.
Love science. He implicitly trusts the science guy, which again, you keep thinking is going to be a build up to a reveal, but no. He just trusts science guys, I guess is the message.
Remember that scene where they're hiding under the stairs talking to each other in a weird angle?
Yeah, in the club scene, because they wanted that shot to be a one shot for some reason, and it looks like trash because they didn't do a simple cut.
But the main takeaway is that Donatello loves science.
And you think about science, what has science given us? Vaccines that cause autism.
Yep.
The Tuscaloosa experiments that gave black men syphilis for like half of a century or whatever.
That's it.
MK Ultra, which, obviously...
What's that?
It was when the CIA used LSD to try to perform mind control operations on people in the 60s.
That sounds cool.
It wasn't actually cool. It did some bad stuff.
Oh, science is bad. Wait.
But it gave us the music of the Grateful Dead, baby.
You love that.
I do love a little bit of the Dead. I'm a little bit of a Deadhead.
You love a little bit or a lot?
I love a lot of it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Don't fucking lie to me.
I'm talking
Don't
all the
fucking
way
lie to
from
me.
Pigpen to Vince Welnick. I'm there for you, the band The Grateful Dead. So Donatello's faced with this question now, where he's
Sure.
like, what do I do with this information?
You know what? Let's talk about Todd Phillips making this movie.
Oh, sure.
I feel like if this were a good movie, there would have been maybe a couple, like the first one. Raphael's all conflicted, and that conflict carries the plot, where the plot is all about this resolution of self. Here it's like they learn about the ooze, and then it's like Donatello's like, oh my God, I thought we were special. We're not. But they didn't talk about it at all before, and it basically just goes away after that. So it's like, okay, cool. Who gives a shit?
Well, that's a really good point. I think you're totally right. Because all the fight scenes in this are just like, they're not
my
plot
God.
driven, really. They're just sort of like, well, there's very convenient plot stuff. Like, oh, we've got to feed the monsters the ice cubes and the donuts, which is like, this is dog shit and crazy. Also, they talk about surreptitiously feeding people stuff in this movie, and they don't use pizza, which is so fucking psycho. Michael Pressman, you psycho.
I mean, you're known for the Pressman push, but God damn it, you could
The
have
Pressman push is glorious in this movie. Right.
There's a pull. There's a Pressman push and the
Pressman
Pressman pull.
Yes, and we
He
all
used-
know
oh my
Michael
God.
Pressman, a god of the industry.
They're like, wait, let's take this seriously. Let's smell the pizza. And they go, and then the Pressman puss.
The Pressman puss.
I can't say
The
it.
pizza looks like dog ass in
And
this
then when
movie, which is crazy. They were so intent on having the gooey strands of pizza from like the comics and the
Oh
cartoons.
my God.
That it looks like they had like just like a mountain of cheese, and it looks like vegan pizza.
I was just
which
about to
is
say, it looks
very
like vegan pizza.
Unsuccessful frequently.
Yeah.
That's diplomatic enough, I think.
Yeah.
I've had some good vegan pizza. I was vegan for a spell. In this movie, it looks a bit plasticky, the pizza cheese.
I mean, it was made in 91.
the good old days, baby.
Of the good old days of vegan pizza?
I was 1
You were 1
year
when this
old.
came
You were
out.
6.
Yeah. Wow, this is... This is
Breaking.
the first time Josh has ever correctly aged me on the podcast.
Well, earlier you
Wow.
gave away your age by saying you were born a year after The Fly.
That's true. So you remembered.
A year before The Fly, excuse me.
Yeah, year before I was
You're
born.
5 years older than me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can you imagine if I got to see The Fly when I was 1? Maybe I did.
I assume that's
Maybe my
probably
dad
what
showed it
happened.
to me.
Yeah.
It's like, boy. He called me boy.
And he was like, that's
Boy.
what Jews do in laboratories.
He did not say that.
You're right. And it's kind of a bummer because the first movie, like a lot of it's about grappling with things. This movie alludes to some of those struggles and certainly depicts how irritating teenagers are as they
Yes.
discover their identity. But a lot of the action is just setting up more quips, and it's a little suffocating. The quips
Bad
are
quips.
bad. They're endless.
There's bad bits, bad business, bad quips. There's no good any of that.
Right. None of this movie really adds up to much. Like I said earlier, a long walk down nothing lane to nobody. But we do get more Shredder, which is kind of great. I love that in the first movie he's killed gruesomely by being
Yeah.
crushed in a fucking trash compactor. And this movie he's like, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. My face is more fucked up than before. We're not even going to see it. We don't see it, which is another weird thing they set up and don't deliver on.
I know. I thought because when they showed the first scene, there was this like beautiful ray of light. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to, they're like, whoa, look at his fucking face. And then he's like standing just outside of the ray of light. Like, oh, yes, this is going to be good. I already, I was ready for it. He's going to step forward. We're going to see his fucked up, mutilated face.
Nothing.
Just cut.
Nothing. Just like what Obama got us after 8 years. Nothing.
Zing.
Orange Man bad.
Double zing?
I think so.
Wow.
So let me ask you this. This movie is extremely plot light, to be very generous to it. In the first movie, a lot happens. Homes are destroyed. Homes are remade elsewhere. They leave the city. They come back to the city.
Are you
unlikely
talking...
family forms. They use their ninja powers to actually summon Ghost Splinter.
Hell yeah.
And in this movie, they're like, what if the stakes were substantially lower in all ways? And basically more pizza driven. Now, again, this is a series, and something we talk about often is the evolution of the world. And this is something we talked about. You specifically were like, please, Josh, I'd love to talk about this in the podcast. I would. But they get a new home base in this movie, which we will return to in the third movie. Spoiler.
Don't spoil it.
Just did.
Can't take it back. Wow.
It's been said.
I wish I could time travel like they do in the third movie.
Hey.
Oh, I just spoiled you. Shithead.
Fuck you. So, okay, in this movie, in the first movie, of course, the Foot Clan raids their dingy sewer zone and steals Splinter. And in this movie, they're fucking up April's apartment, which in the first movie looked like a real apartment. It was dingy and shitty and awesome.
Yeah.
And this movie looks like a fucking, 3-bedroom in LA. It's like just a completely different universe. They get a new home base by literally falling into it. And I wonder Charles, you had a strong reaction to this.
I did.
Yeah.
Cobwebs. Was there a different reaction that I had? I just remember screaming cobwebs.
Well, you didn't.
Oh. Yeah, so I liked it in the 90s. It was really tapping into, I think that's why Harry Potter was so successful. Because it tapped into this secret world of being a misunderstood young person. And part of that is having a home base that's away from adults where you can go chill, hang out.
Like in the first movie, the Foot Clan, you get kids want to hang out in the Foot Clan. That shit was awesome.
That place ruled.
Skateboarding, fucking poker, cigarettes, playing video games.
Video games, my personal favorite of the four.
Yeah, and no one's.
How would you rank those?
No one on their devices.
Smoking cigarettes.
1, gotta be number 1.
Poker.
3.
Skateboarding.
4, I can't do it.
Video games.
2.
Okay.
I've smoked more cigarettes than I've played. That's not true. I guess video games 1. They had a big impact on me.
We're not doing how much time you spent doing these activities.
Well, no, I'm not saying it's time based. I'm saying what have I given my life over to be fair.
You'd say video games more than
smoking? I don't know.
Smoking
is pretty cool.
It's way cooler than... Well, video games are pretty cool these days, too.
That's true. You can be an esportsman.
Yeah.
Or lady. Or girl sports.
I wanted to be one of those.
Gamers rise up.
Yeah. Yeah. My ranking is video games.
Yeah.
Skateboarding because I really want to skateboard, but I can't. But I bet if I gave it enough time, I could do it.
They say start skateboarding at 35. That's the time you want to start.
Right. Tony said that to me.
Hawk?
Yes.
Mr. Tony Hawk?
He told me that.
Oh, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4?
The video game told me that.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
You put in your age and you make a fake face and it says, you can start skateboarding now.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like,
well, that seems like a very specific instruction to begin
Sign
skateboarding
from
at this,
Tony.
In your mid-30s. Thank you, Tony. Wow. Why was he not in this movie?
That would have been great.
I feel like they have the greatest living rapper in 1981, Vanilla Ice.
He was the greatest living skateboarder in 91, probably.
For all I know, yeah. Why not get Michael Jordan in there, too?
Oh, shit. Was he busy? When did
was he busy?
Space Jam come out? 96? Yeah. He was not busy at all then. He could have made a movie.
Yeah, Mike.
I watched
you gambling on your own games, you sick fuck.
Whoa, did he do that?
He did.
Oh my god.
It's one of the most repressed stories in all sports, baby.
Wow. And you're gonna break it here.
You heard it here.
When Will It End?
When Will It End? A podcast
about movie franchises.
We watch all of them. But yes, okay. So getting back to this, you talked about the success of having a cool home base far away from adults, and do you think this is a successful cool home base?
I mean, I think it had promise. They never actually did anything except buy 2 bags of chips.
The bare essentials.
That's not a joke.
Yeah.
He's like, we're buying the essentials. And there could have been many jokes that come with, honestly, it was a visual gag that didn't even need recognition through the script. But he says, the bare essentials.
It'd be great if he got condoms, then was like, just kidding, and then knocked him away, and they all high-fived because they just bareback people.
Cowabunga.
No, I guess the AIDS crisis was in full effect in the 90s, especially in New York, so maybe they probably would have taken it more seriously. Well, this movie has some messages in it. And in their new home base, they do make a recycling sign.
And that's really cool.
So they could have had a sign that said, hey, use protection. AIDS is a killer. There's no cure.
Yeah. Those are 2 messages that I think those are the 2 most messages.
The 2 most messages.
Yeah.
You think those are the 2 most
Always
messages?
recycle
and
be protective.
Be protective.
Yeah.
Sexually, or just in general, or
Just in general.
just be protective.
I mean, it definitely can be used sexually.
The protection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The message.
They do seem again. Mikey is the horniest turtle.
Oh
in
my
this movie.
God. He has time at the club to try to fuck someone.
Do you like when they go into like a perfectly choreographed dance at the club? That's where this movie starts to melt into full psychedelic nightmare zone, where like they defeat the monsters and then start just immediately doing a eerily well choreographed dance on stage with Vanilla Ice. And you're like, what? Like, okay, we talk often in these series when a series starts to transcend itself to become a cultural phenomena that's so lost in itself that it gets up its own ass. And I think we talked about often Austin Powers 2, the worst of the series.
Sure.
Spy Shag Me, very successful, but an extremely up its own ass movie. It's not that much fun to watch.
No, it's
T2 obviously
awful.
is a complete fucking nightmare of a film.
yeah.
And so I think we're getting a similar effect with this where like, you know, now that it's really drunk in its own story and its own success, it's not fun. They're spiking the football right and left in this movie.
Right. And I think that's why I'm going to take it back. I don't think this is a trasher piece.
Wow.
I think this is a fuck you. This is like them. This is already making the cash grab. Like it started with a loving gesture in memory of Jim Henson.
That's wild, by the way. This movie is dedicated
To Jim Henson. He would be outraged.
Yeah. Rip.
Rip?
Rest in peace.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were...
It's a cool guy.
I get
Rip.
it. I thought you were going to rip something.
Rip your mind open with this hot take. Jim Henson, overrated. I'm just kidding. He's probably...
He's fine.
He's great.
He made a whole...
He basically built an entire genre of entertainment. So.
Of nightmare entertainment.
Yeah,
I know
it's
you just
fucked up.
use that word, but I really find his Muppets... My dad and I may disagree on most things, but he refused to show us the Sesame Streets.
Why?
All those
That
movies.
shit's great.
Because he hated puppets. My dad is he's a super taster, and I think that goes into his mental state, too. Where
Well,
he
I'm
like...
sorry. What is the correlation?
I think the uncanny valley is like...
You told me you suspect he was lying about the super taste.
No. I think he's telling the
You've
truth.
insinuated that this
No, I
is
haven't.
a facetious claim.
I never meant to say that.
Say sorry, Daddy.
I'll say it later. Every night. Every night I call you, say that.
Sorry, Daddy.
Sorry, Daddy.
Yeah.
I think his super taster abilities affects him in all ways, much like a Wolverine gets sick of all the killing. You know, he has the killing inside of him, but he gets sick of it. Like having superpowers, as we've learned from more recent superhero movies, is bad. It's sad. It's hard.
It is sad. Yeah.
What was I saying? Mommy's panties? No. Sorry. But yeah, like he couldn't stand puppets. I think the uncanny valley just like really was hard for him. So like for most people, they'd be like, "Oh, that's sort of weird. Maybe it's cute. I'm not sure." He would go into conniption fits on the floor when he saw a puppet
That's fucked up.
or an animated film. He wanted to be grounded in a reality of a Antonioni or a Godard. He wanted to feel the real life of rich white people in Europe.
Did you see Goodbye to Language?
No, what's that?
The Godard 3D movie that came out?
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
I saw that in theaters in 2014.
How was it?
I hated it at the
Okay.
time. I remember my joke was more like goodbye to $20.
That should have been
Pretty
in
good.
this movie.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That should have been in this movie.
Yeah, Godard should have shot Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He would have really gotten to the pathos of it all. Okay, so here's what I'm trying to say. This movie, to its credit, I'm going to try to put a little light on this. We're sort of, I think, fully having brought back Shredder again and brought back pretty much everyone from the first movie with the addition of the two Freudian masterpieces of the baby monster snapping turtle wolf that they used the
Oh my God.
ooze to Shredder basically emerges just drunk on rage and revenge, and he's like, I'll kill the turtles with something equal to them, but makes these two idiotic creatures that do very little. They mostly throw people. We see a lot of turtles getting thrown.
I like that plot point. Not
Okay.
the throwing point, but like if you took away all the fight scenes and actually made them real fight scenes that looked cool, the plot of this movie is really good. Shredder's back. He's pissed. He's ugly now. He wants revenge, so he uses ooze that he finds to make bad beasts that are going to fight our hero beasts. That's a great fucking movie.
I do like the premise, yeah. I would argue, I think what we observed in the climax of the film is that clearly the technical limitations of all of this were so demanding that what we're left with is a very unimpressive fight.
I disagree. The first movie had fight scenes that worked.
No, but then this movie doesn't work the same.
I'm just saying, but like obviously the technical, maybe Jim was required.
Wow.
Do you think Jim was like the mastermind, and when he died, they didn't know how to work the puppets
he
anymore?
built the crazy apparatuses.
Was he the only puppet master in the U.S. in 1990?
Unlikely, but it must have been a huge hit. It's Jim Henson, for Christ's sakes.
I'm just saying, like
It's like when Elvis Presley died.
Yeah, but I mean, when Elvis
King of
Presley
Rock.
died,
Michael Jackson, King of Pop.
right? You get some new. Maybe that's why we switched to CGI. We're like, the king is dead.
Queen Latifah.
Long live the king.
Queen of R&B, I guess.
Okay.
Hip hop.
I'm not sure we're connecting right now. Just thinking about those songs.
Thinking about those beautiful musics.
Oh my god.
Go ninja, go
Go
ninja,
ninja,
go.
go.
Mommy's panties. Yes. So, on paper, it's an interesting idea. I agree with you. I just think by the end of the movie, where like every fight, because they're even more technically inept in this movie than the first movie. Every fight with the turtles involves one guy walking up to the turtles trying to do some stupid shtick with, and in the classic, the climactic fight at the end of the movie, they like roll barrels underneath. They like
Oh my
King Kong them basically.
Yeah.
And it's like really dumb.
Donkey Kong them.
Fuck. Shit.
They don't do that in King Kong.
No, did they hit him with a barrel?
In King Kong?
Don't they drop a barrel on him?
In King Kong?
I think they drop a barrel on him. They got him in the plane. They're like, we drop a barrel on him. And they drop a barrel on him.
In King
and then,
Kong?
then Jack Black goes, it was the Beatty that killed it. The beast.
Oh, I've only seen the original.
Yeah,
because I
Peter Jackson's
refuse
King
to watch
Kong.
remakes.
There's another one?
Yeah, the original.
No Jack Black?
No. Actually,
not
yeah,
watching that
there's,
shit.
there's baby Jack Black. He was born in 1920. Ooh, when did that come out? 8? Fuck.
I don't fucking know.
Who cares?
I love that movie. That's good as shit.
I
I've seen
shared
it.
that video of the They Live audio over the. You didn't know that was King Kong.
I thought it was just one of your shenanigans. And
You thought I
hijinks.
made that.
I thought you made it. Yeah.
Wow, thank you. I mean, it's
Right.
really cool.
Charles is alluding to a bit of promotional material he made from a former job he had, which is, again, a beautifully well-told tale on the podcast to allude to the viral video made for someone years ago. You have to set the table, man.
I made it for myself.
Oh, God. He did the They Live audio of the Roddy Piper, Keith David fight over
Oh, can I
King Kong T-Rex fight.
interrupt with some serious?
Oh, sorry. Please be serious.
In case people didn't know, all of our episodes are now on YouTube.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I actually do fucking work for this podcast.
What
do you do?
Yeah, I'm the engineer.
We're not
I'm
going
the
over this
executive
again. We've
producer.
gone over this many times. Yes, you spin
I'm
the
the
dials, you
co-host.
set it, forget it. You're really good at your job.
Thank you. I think this is going to sound like shit, honestly, because we fucked with the board so much.
We did?
Well, they did. We touch off mic. There's some hardware changes here.
Ooh, a little off mic action?
A little off mic
I
action.
like that. They're gonna
I
be
blew
like,
out this. Here's something for the podcast. I blew
Yeah?
out the speakers on my computer.
oh my God, just like at the end of this movie where they kill Shredder.
Holy shit, yeah. There's a real harsh noise moment in this movie. It's real industrial shit. Where, like, first off, just a bad guy tip. If you have a valuable piece of something in a movie, don't just hold it up in the air for a while.
Right, they do it many times. It never works out. for
Never
them.
works out. It'll get knocked out of your hand. Trust me.
By a piece of glass.
At one point, yes, inexplicable. Shredder, again, in his sad effort to beat the Turtles, which is very confused the whole movie long. Just bad strategy top to bottom. He's standing in front of a speaker, and they jack up the volume on a Marshall stack, and
Yeah.
Mikey jams down a gnarly fucking...
With his 2 fat fingers, he manages to create.
He rips a savage fucking
Oh.
tone out of this guitar, and it blows Shredder out of the building through a window. It's amazing.
And-
much to the horror and possible delight of Vanilla Ice, who, of course, at this point is cheering on the Turtles along with the rest of the club.
What do you think he was on? What mixture?
I just assume like a heavy opiates, you know?
Yeah.
I have to guess. that.
Vodka. I think vodka was involved. too.
Vodka, Coke, pills, downers, uppers, screamers.
He was having a great time.
reds, blues, greens.
What are these turtles, man?
Yeah.
That was my impression of Vanilla Ice.
I guess that's why this is a trash piece for me, because it's like, how much can a movie sell its soul? And it's like, oh, Vanilla Ice appears in the film and we're led to believe freestyle raps an anthem for the Turtles in real time of a fight. Like, that's amazing. No one would have that. You would be shot if you did that in 2019.
Yeah.
And maybe that's good.
I mean, I think you're right. I think that scene is why I thought this was a trasher piece, but it seems lazy.
Hold
like,
on,
it doesn't.
you loved the outcome of this whole bit though. Mutant Shredder, you loved that.
Yeah, it was
She
a
was
great
sick.
ending. I liked anything with Shredder in it. Honestly, every scene with Shredder and every scene with Splinter. They like carry this movie.
Yeah, we get some more Splinter knowledge in this.
What was that?
He tells Kino, he's like, Kino, be patient, bro.
Oh yeah, that was a great scene. It was like cut in. So there's like fighting, rapping, bullshit, and then just hard cuts to Splinter saying, Kino's like, I just want to fucking fight, man. And Splinter says, don't fight. It is the last resort of... It's so far away.
No, you're being quiet now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've never been quiet in my life.
That's crazy.
We need a new symbol for when I'm... Because this just... I feel like I'm too far away. I've been moving back
It's
all
like
day.
baseball. I'm like tugging on my ear, tapping my chin.
Yeah. Oh, that's so you want to snap when I'm getting too far away.
Right,
And do your
yeah.
typical like...
This is what I do. A minute ago, you're like, what does it do for the podcast? I'm like, I don't know, saves the audio from your fucking wanton destruction.
With completely ambiguous hand signals.
Okay, in this movie, I'm basically the Turtles, and you're basically when Shredder lets the monster babies knock down 2 light poles in Chinatown.
I like that scene where he's
Like, I will send a message to the Turtles. And they like knock down
Knock down.
2 light poles and ruin a car.
cool.
And then the cops are like, this is the most fucked up shit that's ever happened. You're like, what if the rape and murder that obviously goes on in this,
Yeah.
Again, imagine if Todd Phillips directed this, the kind of message he would send
Whoa.
the Turtles. They'd probably kill like a whole school bus.
Yeah.
Eat
That
their
would-
innards.
That would be a real message. I did like the scene where Shredder.
I think it's like Joker, Batman, Spider-Man. You can just really have fun with it.
Okay, I'm having.
It's a
great
dangling
time.
article.
I'm having a great time.
Good.
Shredder
Shredder.
is like, these things are idiots. They're stupid babies. And then the scientist is like, no, they're not. And then he goes like, yeah, they're stupid babies.
We should kill them.
They're life. They're non-human life. And then they pick up a car and they're like, all right, they can pick up cars.
Yeah, then he's like, oh, the car picking up could be helpful. Maybe he could throw Turtles later. Hey, talking about headquarters, the Foot Clan's backup headquarters
Oh,
is dope as fuck. The wall of tires, the wall of barrels, the wall of ruined cars.
The walls, they never stop.
It's so sick.
Yeah.
I like how they couldn't get a single exterior shot of this amazing construction because it's so big and weird, but like I wanted more of that. That was amazing.
So we've established that this movie was really good at physical world building, except for April's apartment. That was weird. But like, we got a sense. Well, no, I'm gonna take it back. The first movie was wet and it was dirty and it was gritty and it captured New York. And I think that's what we really liked about this movie was that it was a dirty New York movie. And like that's so gone from our culture. Anyone born after, how do you even know about it? I feel like anyone born after the 90s would barely even know that New York was like that. Maybe your dad.
That's a good question. I mean, my parents left New York because it was dirty New York.
Yeah, so you
in
probably
the
heard
80s.
from them. But like,
Yeah.
especially anyone born in the 2000s, like has no idea that cities used to be the most dangerous, garbagey, like violent places in America. They're now all wealthy, get a little avocado toast. Am I right?
Millennials, so get me started. And now it's the hinterlands that are full of opiate-driven serial murderers,
Right.
trying to get another fix from CVS.
Yeah, because there's nothing left for them.
No,
But anyway, so like this movie doesn't capture that at all. It has like a street where they knock over 2 light. It obviously looks like a set. Like nothing feels real. The only things
There's
that
no
work
grit, yeah.
are the things that aren't real. Like these elaborate bad boy bases and the basement subway. Like all those things are very cool, but it's literally 2 scenes. Everything else looks like garbage. Trashterpiece. I don't think this is a trashterpiece. This is just trash.
I think it just gets so psycho where like Splinter's like, did you do a good job being secret? And they're like, yeah, Splinter. And he holds up like the New York Post. It's like Ninja Rap created. He's like, you did a bad job. And then tells like
I don't want to do flips.
and then make him do more 10 flips.
10 flips.
So, okay, we're at that point in the podcast. Let me ask you this. Charles, are you asking at this point in the series, when will it end?
Yeah.
Really? You're
yeah,
out?
I'm out. I can't take this anymore.
Really? I thought this was like fun to watch.
See, I know you really liked it. Maybe
It
not really
was-
liked it, but you
Okay, so let me
enjoyed.
put this in context. We're recording this on a Friday afternoon. I've been dealing with a head cold all week. I've been dealing with work. There's been a lot going on. If you're going to sit back and watch an 88-minute long movie, this is perfect for where I'm at.
Can I slip into a tiny little corner?
Please.
What is your go-to sick day movie?
Great question. I have a few.
Yeah, let's hear it. I really like this question because I think you're right. When you're
Yeah.
sick, like, okay, 10 o'clock, Price is Right. 11 o'clock, what was on after the Price is
I don't
Right?
watch game shows.
I'm just saying, like, when I was sick, I would, like, watch morning bad television, and then I would move into movies. And then I now I have a bunch of movies that I love to watch when I'm sick. What are yours?
Well, Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
Okay.
Which
Never
is a movie.
seen it.
It is so wonderful.
Yeah.
I can watch it a million times. It is the ultimate biopic spoof. The number of bits in it that are so good they shatter all other biopics to
Is
this
this
very
John
day.
Riley?
John C. Reilly. It's a Judd Apatow movie that was not well received, and it is brilliant. The supporting cast is Chris Parnell. The incredible Tim Meadows is fucking amazing in it. Everyone from Jack Black to Jenna Fisher from The Office. It's an amazing movie. It's so good. I could watch it. It's so fucking funny. So I watched that. Walk Hard. They Came Together, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's another spoof. That's kind of the zone I'm in. Then to continue that train,
Yeah. So, all right, cool.
MacGruber.
Great.
3 spoofs. That's what I want when I'm
So-
sick.
and
I
I
want to
think-
watch very broad comedy by people overcommitted to roles.
I
That's what
think
want.
that's what, like one of the options when you're sick is to turn, as they say, your brain off, and like just you're in the blanket. You got your tea, you got your blanket, and then you watch a movie that feels like a second.
That's
blanket.
what the mainstream media wants. Yeah,
Yeah. So like you have the first blanket, but you're maybe still cold even though you have a fever.
it's a blanket of lies. The America's got a fever.
No, we're
the
talking
fever
about
is
sick food.
socialism.
Shut the fuck up. You keep doing this. You keep derailing the podcast.
Trump's got the cure. Okay, go ahead.
My sick movies are Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
A classic.
Yeah, I could watch that. Like, just curl up on the couch, watch it. It's to me that feels like home. I love that movie. Let's see, another good movie. Okay, I think you're right. I think comedies are, especially like dumb comedies, air quotes around dumb. Those are like good couch movies when you're sick.
You want to be disarmed when you're sick. I don't really want to watch Primer or Time Crimes or some shit where I'm like, oh, wait, what the fuck is happening? I want to be like, oh, Will Forte's going to suck Ryan Felipe's dick, and it's funny as shit.
Yeah, I actually rewatched Primer the other day.
How was it? How's it hold up?
It's better every time.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it fun to watch? It's like
no,
homework.
it's not
homework.
fun.
Yeah,
it's not like homework either. It's just
an experience.
yeah. And this is like, I'm so embarrassing. I've seen this movie, saw it when it came out. I've seen it like 10 times, and like I'm just still getting plot that I should have gotten the first watch through.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm an
So
idiot.
you're very dumb.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd watch The Matrix when I'm sick. First Matrix is a good sick movie. So you're all about dumb spoof comedies, and I like the hard hitting action.
Yeah, I mean, but like then you're like Point Break. I guess is a movie I've seen so many times that is my chicken soup, and I could happily watch that. I'd watch that right now on my phone and watch the whole movie.
You want to do it?
No. The Master, I've tried. I'll put that on to like lull me into a sense of security that there's good in the
Interesting.
world.
That's interesting.
That's the other end of this, I
right.
think.
Yeah. So would Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, be which one was that?
Just hold it parallel to your fucking mouth.
Parallel. I'm doing like a
holding
lazy.
it at your chin.
I'm feeling lazy, baby.
Don't. It sounds like
Look at me,
dog
I'm
shit.
slouching.
You
I got
just
this.
slouched to affect that position. You didn't.
I've been
slouch
slouching
before.
all back
You're
and
a
forth.
fucking liar.
Okay.
No, Turtles 2. No, I can't imagine watching this again for another decade.
I would never watch this again.
It was fine. I would give this this is to me a C- as opposed to a D+, where it's like, this is not great, but it's also not that bad. And I have just no real complaint. It's like, to point out the frivolity of Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, is like, come on, do I have to point out this is not like fucking Solo or whatever? Like, no shit.
I just, first of all, want to make a super cut of all the times you reference Solo. And two, I think we're looking at things bigger than that. We're on this podcast journey together, and I think what we've realized is that to go, let's say Turtles 1 was similar bullshit, but a little better. Like, yeah, this is a nice follow-up. But the first one was like strangely deep and endearing and had a lot of nice scenes, and like every arc was fulfilled for me. And to go from that to this,
it's a big step down, no question.
it's a huge step down.
That being said,
I give it a D.
I'm watching this from the historical perspective as having seen the third one.
Oh.
I'm dying.
You're a historian.
A million times. I'm a bit of an amateur armchair historian. And
this is cool. I've never met one of those.
Hello, welcome, good evening.
Wow.
And I love Turtles 3. So I am watching this knowing that we're building up to what I hope holds up even a little bit from my childhood, because I loved this movie. And I guess at this point, we can start to transition towards the end of this, where we can announce we're going to have a guest on our next episode.
This is crazy.
This is crazy. My brother Mike Landis, who's been maligned at great length by my co-host.
He's not been maligned.
You have said you wouldn't suck his dick. You said you like him less than our other brother.
That's both of those things are true. Those are not malignants.
I think you could interpret those as being negative.
Not sucking his dick?
That's rude.
Is that?
Suck my brother's dick.
We'll have to. Okay,
Now.
we're gonna settle this next week.
We'll settle it next week. Should Charles suck Mike's dick or not? But yeah, for the first time ever, we're going to have a guest on the podcast.
This is crazy.
It should be wild.
Is he funny? No.
He's okay.
Does he have
He's
any
got
followers
jibs.
on
He's got
social
jabs.
media? No. Is he famous? No.
Is he going to get hits? Doubtful.
No.
Is
So,
he
but-
industry connects? Absolutely not.
Jesus.
Well, we're both Jewish. So
What
there's that.
does he bring to the table?
He brings a love of
He's
the
your-
movies
he's your
and a
brother.
love specifically of Ninja Turtles 3, which again we watched a fuck ton. There are scenes in this movie that I
Okay.
saw in the 90s that
So
are burned into my goddamn
I
brain.
feel like I'm going to be picked on. I feel like I've already said I'm not going to suck his dick.
I feel like you should be prepared
And
to
you
be
guys
picked on.
have both seen the movie. And you're just honestly, I don't think I'm going to get a word in edgewise.
I think it's gonna be a new dynamic and there's no way this experiment will go wrong.
Oh, can I ask you a new question?
You didn't even ask me the main titular podcast question.
Is
Go ahead.
he going to be in the room with us?
He'll be calling in.
Okay, so his audio is going to sound good though.
We've gone over it with him. I think we have a plan that's going to work. Please don't bring this energy into the recording.
So I'm just going to recap that. We are choosing for our first guest to be someone that is recording on bad audio equipment, who has no clout.
This is stuff that
who's not funny.
This is audio,
He's not going to
an
bring us
audio
anything
technique that I've used
Okay,
in other walks
interesting.
of life as a
Interesting.
professional
Interesting
radio
choice.
journalist.
All right.
I take responsibility about, if this is a
Mike.
disaster, one, we'll try to blame Mike. I think that's the easy way out.
Oh my God.
Just blame Mike.
Yeah.
Two,
My goal is that his audio doesn't work and we just have a weird podcast where a third of the conversation is just absent.
that would be very
I think that'd be better than having him on. But honestly, I hope he doesn't listen to this and we go in with a fresh, he won't know that I've just made fun of him for the last 5 minutes.
No, it'll be a fun surprise for him as he tells all of his friends to listen to the preceding episode.
How many friends you got? He's got a kid now, right?
He's got a kid. So
Probably doesn't hang out
nephew,
with any people.
Nephew? My nephew know him?
No, he probably doesn't hang out with anyone anymore.
He brings it a little bit, but it's less. He's a father.
Right.
Yeah.
Big pop.
Look, you're underscoring. I get it. Mike's bringing us nothing. It's probably a net negative for the whole thing.
Yeah.
But we're going to try it out. It's going to be great.
All right. Wait,
hey,
if this
Josh,
works.
what do you think about the title of the podcast that we're supposed to be doing
Hold
together?
on, man. We're still talking about this.
Holy shit. Go ahead.
If this works,
Yeah.
I
The
also
floodgates are open.
I also have a brother.
Oh, my God. What would Philip do?
That's
What-
asking
movies?
myself that every
So
day of my
bleep
life.
that maybe.
Oh my God, what is Philip doing now? Oh
I
my
meant
God.
which movie would he contribute to? But bleep what I said.
Well, wait, what'd you say? Okay, we'll bleep it twice.
We should bleep it twice. Series that we're going to do.
3 times.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Hey, Josh, what do you think about the movie?
All right, so now that Brother Corner's over, it's about that time of the episode.
Oh, okay. For what? For what?
What's the name of the show, Josh?
When will it end?
That's what I'm asking, baby.
Oh, you're asking me, am I asking?
Repeat that.
What you're asking me is, am I asking myself when will it end?
That's exactly what I'm asking.
Are you asking me? If I'm asking me, when will it end?
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm asking.
So is this Travis Bickle hanging out with John Wick? This is tight. How baller is that? Maybe Boondock Saints 3.
Oh my God.
No, I'm all in. I fucking love this shit.
You love this shit.
I just love it. It's dumb. Look, the turtles were annoying. The sets were worse, largely. The plot was stupid, but I had fun. I had fun watching it. I just it's like the living cartoon effect. I'm just like, this
To
is
me,
great.
the first one was like a nice stuffed squash.
It was like a nice
Say.
slice of New York pizza.
I'm saying a stuffed squash. The outside, comforting when cooked well. Not super delicious, but a good capsule for, wow, the heart of a pilaf, perhaps.
I'm seeing a passion in your eye that I've never seen before.
This movie was like an empty stuffed squash that the dog ate the squash.
Just a reminder, we will be asking for money at some point to support this podcast. Just think about this. Please. Next week on the podcast, my brother, our first guest, will be talking Ninja Turtles 3, subtitled here.
A secret of... No.
Of-
No, that's this one. Fuck. Wait, that's the secret of these.
Usually when Charles spends the night at my house, the next morning I'm always trying to unravel a secret of the use.
That's a cum
It's
joke.
cum joke.
Yeah, cum joke.
It's got your penis.